Well, hello, ADNC fam. I hope everybody's doing well. Emma Ansah here, coming to you live once again from the cold country of Canada. And I like to call Thursday Friday Eve because it's the day before Friday and we're almost at the end of the week. And for you, those of you that don't work on the weekend, you have Friday to look forward to and TGIF and all that good stuff. So it's Thursday Eve. It's still cold here, but it's a bit milder here than it has been for the past few days. So that's a good thing because we're still in fall, but we're getting winter weather. So, in any event, I just want to say hello, hello, hello. And while we're waiting for people to join us, I just wanted to remind everybody to please go and download the African Diaspora News Channel app from your Google or Apple store. It is a wonderful app that's made by us and for us, and we're not censored there. We can say what we want, we can report on what we want, and nobody can say to us, you can't do this, you can't say that. And the best part about it is it's made by us and it's for us. So there is no reason why everybody shouldn't run to your Google or Apple store and download that app. It is very important that we support our platforms that are doing wonderful things and reporting on really important things that are going on in our community, right? So make sure you download the app. I promise you will thank me later, but make sure you download that app. So today's topic, what are we talking about today? We are talking about the $2.5 billion class action lawsuit that was filed for over 50 years of anti-Black racism that federal public workers faced here in Canada. And the fact that it was dismissed by the federal court, that doesn't mean it's over yet. It's still tabled and it will be filed with the Court of Appeal. So it's not over yet. However, we're going to talk about this because I started following this story 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, there were only 1,100 plaintiffs. And there are now 45,000, excuse me, not plaintiffs, class members. There are now 45,000 class members, past employees, present employees that have joined this class action lawsuit. And they all have stories of what they went through. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play a reel of the CEO of the Black Class Action Secretariat. His name is Nicholas Marcus Thompson. And also some of the class members, they're going to share some stories of what they went through, along with just a few other things. There's some media people that are talking as well. So let's take a look at this, and then we'll discuss further.
The report is damning. It speaks of threats, abuse, cruelty, subjugation, insubordination, and intimidation, along with a pattern of harassment and unfounded complaints that are filed against Black leaders. The report also details disturbing accounts of psychological distress, with some individuals reporting suicidal ideation and even attempts due to the toxic workspace. Suffering for so long, while so many look on and not do anything about it. That is the horrific experience of many Black workers.
The way I was treated, the way I was held back, no promotions. A supervisor, he would say derogatory remarks and so forth. I brought it to management's attention and they did nothing about it.
I wish that we could come to work and just do the job and not have to code switch to tone police. I wish that when I give a presentation and I'm critical of something, they don't call me the angry Black man. But my white colleague is considered passionate, even though we're saying the same thing.
The federal public service uses a number of tools and staffing actions to oppress Black employees. Staffing in the federal public service is subjective and not based on merit. And Black people have not been beneficiaries of the process.
It is an environment that is so unjust, that has always put Black down. I was hospitalized because of that stress. Just thinking of going to work, I was vomiting. One morning I said, I can't do it anymore. I went to work that day, I was trembling. I was like, I could not stand, I could not sit. I actually was sent to the hospital, an MBA from the University of Ottawa and a Bachelor of Engineering degree from the University of Applied Sciences in Hamburg, Germany. I'm fully bilingual. I've been working for the CRA for the last 15 years. Black are not fully accepted. Having an accent has nothing to do with being intelligent or being capable of understanding the job and doing the job.
A manager at the Immigration and Refugee Board said to me, "We should go back to the good old days when we had slaves." I said to him, "Please stop. If not, I will file a grievance against you." His response, "Your people were not the only people who were slaves." This manager decided that he was bold enough to say his racist comments to me. I guess he knew, and I knew too, that nothing would be done. No reprimand, no one will be speaking to him, nothing will happen to him. This is the problem when people know that nothing can be done to them or will be done to them, then they are free to spout the racism without any fear.
Managers using the N-word and claiming they didn't know it was a pejorative. White staff receiving career advancing opportunities in stark contrast from their Black colleagues. And a workplace culture that discouraged reporting and lacked accountability measures. Those are just some of the findings from an internal audit of the Privy Council office. That's the head of Canada's Public Service, which helps manage almost 100 government departments. Now, the Government of Canada tried to keep this internal report from the public, and now it's trying to keep it from being used as evidence in a lawsuit.
26 years and I was never promoted. Because I was never promoted, it affected my pension terribly. I now can afford a cheap basement apartment. That's where I'm living right now.
You want to work for your country, you want to represent your country, you want to work hard for them, but for some reason, because of the color of your skin, they don't want to see you go anywhere and they just want to keep you at level. And I never thought that this would happen to me. It's just hard to believe that this would happen to me. I never thought that I would ever be in this position in life. And especially when I look at my daughters, I want something better for them. So if I have to fight, I'll fight. I have to, because it's not for me, it's for the next generation. I can't let this go on any longer.
I received a phone call and the person asked, "May I speak with?" and they asked for my name. I said, "Yeah, speaking." And they said, "You applied for a human resources advisor position." And I said, "Yes, I did." And they said, "Okay, before we kind of start this conversation, may I ask what ethnic or cultural background you belong to?" And me being in my 20s at the time, totally naive, I didn't think anything of it, I said, "Sure." And they said, "Would you say you identify as European, Asian, Black, so on and so forth?" And I said, "Black," and the phone disconnected. And they never called me back.
How could it ever be resolved when the oppressors are responsible for implementing the solutions? They've said it over and over. Several presidents of the Treasury Board, Mona Fortier, Anita Anand, everybody said it over and over. It's systemic, and we're working to address it. Like, it's been decades that you're working to address it, and Nothing has worked, and it hasn't worked. I'll tell you why. So listen up closely. I'll tell you why. The same leaders who have done this is who Canada has called on to fix it. Very simple. The same leaders who are discriminating, who are oppressing Black people, who are doing everything the Zellers report pointed out on several occasions with many recommendations, still not implemented. Those are the leaders that Canada has tasked to address the issue. So how could it ever change? How could it ever be resolved when the oppressors are responsible for implementing the solutions?
I want to speak directly a bit to the federal government. We face $10 million worth of lawyers' fees to try and ensure that this case is dismissed. You have to ask yourself what message that ultimately sends. This is a government that has initiated various programs to address the impacts of systemic anti-Black racism over the years, and yet turns around then and refuses to settle, refuses to sit down with us, and to find a way to stop fighting its own workers.
And you know what, family? I can relate to so much of what these class members have said because I've been down that road. I've been down that road where I was discriminated and all of those other things. But one of the things I want to really point out is what Nicholas Marcus Thompson said, which is the oppressors. He referred to them as the oppressors because the federal government or the federal workers, the process when they experience discrimination is to file a complaint with the Canada Human Rights Commission. They have also been guilty of discriminating its own Black employees. So you are now asking, as Nicholas Thompson said, you are asking them to find a solution when they're also guilty of it. So as a Black person, if I go through something at my job and I want to file a complaint, I'm filing a complaint with people that are supposed to solve something that they're also guilty of doing. So their hands aren't clean. So how would an employee feel safe in a work environment like that? And you heard from a lot of the class members and what they had gone through. One of the other ones that really landed on me too was the one sister who said she received a phone call and it was almost like it was a phone screening. And the moment that she identified herself as a Black person, the phone conveniently disconnected and she didn't get a call back. So it's kind of similar to now when you're filling out an application online and there's a box there where it asks you what you identify as, you know, that identifier, which probably works against you once you say you're Black. Kind of like that, but it was just on the phone. It was a verbal thing, you know? Anyway, let me go to the comments a little bit. Hey, Patricia, but no one else were chattel slavery for at least 400 years and discrimination against everywhere till this day. Exactly. It's nonstop. And these employees, over 45,000 of them for over 50 years, past and present employees of going through this. And as Nicholas said, they keep saying, we're going to fix it, and they're not doing anything. And they have the audacity to throw this, or at least dismiss this lawsuit, the federal court that is, to dismiss this lawsuit. But like I said, they're not, giving up. It's in with the Court of Appeals. Yeah, Brandon Moss says white demons are everywhere. You can't even go to Africa to escape them. Well, yeah, there's some parts of Africa for sure where there's more white demons for sure. Agree with you there. Hey, Jedi says, yep, facts, proof, evidence, truth, God our creator, book, Adam, Torah, Bible in order. Rep the news, YouTube. Only God only can save, unite. Hebrew, Israel, American, God, give dominion above all. Amen. Amen. And Shan, hi Shan, how you doing? They would be able to. Yeah, so listen, I'm just going to read some of the reasons why they claim to have dismissed the federal government, that is dismissed. And so they're saying that one of the reasons is the federal public service employee members have access to comprehensive recourse regimes for dealing with employment related disputes. Well, those places they're talking about again for federal employees is the Canada Human Rights Commission. And as I said, they are guilty of the same kind of discrimination against its own Black workers. So why they feel like this is one of the most primary reasons is like the peak of hypocrisy. Seriously, the peak of hypocrisy. The idea that they're trying to say, I guess in summary, that you have somewhere to go. There is a process already in place for you. No, there isn't. There's no process. And I know a lot of people are probably wondering, well, why did these employees stay? There's employees that have been working for the federal public service, bodies for over 20 years, over 30 years. Why would you stay? Why didn't you leave and get another job? Listen, it's already difficult as it is for Black people, okay, to get jobs. You're immediately discriminated. Oftentimes, people who are the folks that are less qualified than you will likely get the job before you. Also, there'll be times where you're in the job and they'll hire somebody else and promote that person, and you are the one tasked to train them. These are the kinds of things that happen in what I refer to as the corporate plantation. So at the end of the day, though, you got bills, you got mortgage, you've got children, you have all of these things to factor. So it's not only your life that's impacted. So people will hang in there, right? And then, of course, some people trusted in the system that existed that is broken and doesn't help Black employees. But I know some people are like, why would we stay? And I feel like those are some of the reasons, right? Those are some of the reasons. You got to work, you got to eat, and a lot of those union jobs come with really good perks as well. But it's a lot to go through. And you hear the one brother who was talking about how he ended up going to the hospital. He was vomiting and what he was going through at work. And I can actually relate to that too. I remember there was a company I was working for, and I was 100% always filled with such anxiety. Even before I walked into the office, I was thinking to myself, okay, what am I going to go through today? What am I going to have to deal with today? Who's going to offend me today? And it's the worst feeling. And, you don't even realize how much it affects your health. Stress is a killer. And when you have that added stress of, a place where you spend at least 85% of your life, essentially, 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever it is, it's like the worst feeling. And so I really could resonate with that brother. I literally can resonate with what every single one of these class members have said, because it is something that is so common with Black people. We just don't hear about it a lot from Black people, but trust me, in this here country, it is common. FBA Page Boy, salute. I hope all is well. Sheila, the broken system doesn't help us. It just keeps our blood pressure up. Exactly what I'm saying is like the way it affects your blood pressure. And do you know what? When I was still on the corporate plantation, my blood pressure wasn't up a lot, but it was elevated. And I realized it's elevated because I was so stressed out on this job. The instant, or not quite, but almost as soon as I left the corporate plantation, my blood pressure went back to optimal, Sister Sheila. So that's to tell you how you don't even know how much your body is affected by these things. And, that's why I'm always preaching that we as Black people, we need our own major institutions. We need to adopt the Tulsa mentality, where they were driven out, they built their own. And that's where I feel like we need to be, so that we are no longer in these situations where we have to be suing a body for over, just like, think of it, over 50 years. Over 50 years. Imagine. Hey, three Manning, magic number. I hope all's well. Yeah, stop buying their products. That's the other thing. If we took our spending power, which by the way is 1.3 trillion, away and stopped investing in any other thing but what's black owned, it will make a huge difference as well. I always say it and I will keep saying it. The power that we have as black people, the brilliance, the intelligence, the talent, everything that we possess, if we were to unite and put it together, man, we're unstoppable, unstoppable. And you know that bothers the folks. You know that makes the folks nervous, okay? That makes them super nervous. Hey, Buck Horse, there you go, Miss Canada. Oh, yes, I'm here, Buck Horse. I'm here. And oh yes, three magic number says stop sharing the culture too, jazz, rock, etc. Exactly. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. That is the word. Stop sharing. Keep it in house. Keep it between us. Keep it in our community. But we are dealing with a jealous people. Don't want to see our people with nothing. Facts. Facts and facts. Which is why we need to build our own. They shut us out of the building, go buy your own. They don't want us to the table, build your own table. But these 45,000 class members that went through this are very entitled to that 2.5 billion. So I'm glad that it's with the Court of Appeal. And I know I happen to be quite friendly with Nicholas Marcus Thompson. So I know this man is a force and he is not going to allow the government to, they can spend 15, 20, 30, all the millions they want to spend. We're not stopping. And that is the mentality. And that is a beautiful thing to me. We definitely should not stop. You see, the thing about these governing bodies is they're really relying on it being such a vast inconvenience for us that we'll eventually just give up. And what I love about the Black Class Action Secretariat is that they're not. They are not giving up. So, Court of Appeal, failing that, Superior Court, but we're just going to keep going. And I love it. And like I said in the beginning, started off with just 1,100 members and Nicholas Marcus Thompson by himself. Now there's a coalition. So they're growing and they're not going to stop. And I love it. Yeah, magic number says facts. Exactly. Thank you, Buckhorse. Thank you for loving Ms. Canada. Yeah, they're always sniffing around Black culture. That is true. Thank you, Joy. How you doing? Lots of muscular emojis. That's right. We are going to keep going. And that's what I mean. Canada is not soft. The Black people out here are also saying enough is enough. We're not putting up with any more of this, and we're going to keep fighting. Those people, those 45,000 people, past and present, deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. But you know what? They are, you know, from a realistic standpoint, they are in for a fight. Because when the federal government is spending 15 million to fight back, that means they really do not want to settle this at all. But thank God for Nicholas Marcus Thompson, the Black Class Action Secretariat, that are grinding and hustling and, you know, making it happen for our people. They are very deserving of it. And that reel that I played was just a small fraction. There are so many class members that have a story. And these are the ones that are actually speaking. So imagine those that are not. And like I said earlier, oftentimes they don't want to speak because maybe fear, maybe, concerns about how it'll impact their job and all of those kinds of things, you know. But I am proud of the 45,000 that have come forward. And I am here for y'all all. I'm praying for you all. And again, I can absolutely relate. I am beyond elated to be out of the corporate plantation, let me tell you. And I have zero intentions on going back. But what I will do is keep an eye on this here, and I will keep following it. And I encourage all Black employees in the federal public service sector, come forward, join this class action lawsuit. Tell your story and make sure that you're made whole for this. These governed bodies have no right to fight back. But when it comes to Black people, that's just what it is, right? And then, when I cover this, I got the folks telling me, "Oh, stop complaining. Why don't you just go get a job? All of this is over. Racism doesn't exist anymore." The gaslighting of it all, the deflecting of it all. And some of them are probably guilty of doing the exact same thing they're trying to deflect from, right? We're not trying to hear that. Yes, Buckhorse, that's Miss Canada. Yes, but I like to call myself Miss Ghana, okay? Because I'm Ghanaian. I'm just a Ghanaian that lives in Canada. So, Miss Ghana, I'll take that one. I receive it beautifully. Yes, Buckhorse, ain't no fear. No, there should be no fear. No fear. We're not fearful. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep pressing on. But I really wanted to share this, Oh, they feeling that now. Yeah, well, they should be. They should be feeling it. And they better. But you know what? They started off, I think it was at 10 million, and now it's 15 million. So yeah, they're feeling it. Hey, L. Smith, JR5, hope all is well. Thank you so much thank you. I thank you for enjoying my in-depth insights. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just trying to bring what's going on here in Canada, because I always say people think Canada is just this wonderful, beautiful, friendly country. Everybody just holds hands, sings Kumbaya, and skips down the garden path, and there's no racism here. And that's just not the case, okay? Not the case here. All right? Hip hop and rap is dying off in terms of cultural dominance, but everyone is waiting for what FBAs bring next to steal and rob and pillage and put their name on it. Hey, the people champion. I'm good. What's good with you? Thank you, Buckhorse. Yes, Miss Ghana. That's what it is now. Them folks been feeling they just project all day, like you said. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And like I said, that ripe old saying, a hit dog hollers, the truth hurts, the ugly truth hurts. Those are the ones that usually are the ones that crawl in, with the snow roach mentality and say, "Oh, get over it. And you didn't get that promotion because you didn't work hard." When we know as Black people, we have to work 10 times as hard to even be recognized. So they say those kinds of things, right? Just work harder or get a good job and stop complaining. Yeah, those ones, the hit dog that hollers, right? So yeah, they're feeling it, and hopefully they will continue to feel it, and hopefully eventually they'll get to a point where it's like, okay, 15 million, 20 million, 25 million. At some point you're going to have to concede, because guess what? The Black Class Action Secretariat is not going anywhere. They're going to keep going. They complain about DEI and AA, but are quiet about nepotism. A lot of Nepo babies, for sure, that are the folks. And the most, like the biggest slap in the face is that Black employee that's been in the job for 20 years, 15 years. And all of a sudden, daddy, who happens to be a CEO somewhere, brings his son in. And then that Black employee has to train the son, who has zero experience. And then what happens? That son ends up being that Black employee's boss. This is the nonsense that's going on. So I am elated that this class action lawsuit is, still going, and we're in the appeal phase, and we're going to keep it going. And I am going to keep my good eye, or my right eye is my better eye, and keep my good eye on this case. And like I said, I am in contact with Nicholas Marcus Thompson. So I just want to also give him a huge shout out. He has been grinding and hustling on this thing Like I said, I started following it 2 years ago. I believe it's been going on longer than that. And here we are in 2025, heading into 2026, and they're still going. So kudos to him. I really, really love the fact that he has not given up, and there's even a bigger coalition that's doing the work, and it's good and very good. Yeah. So yeah, FBA Pageboy says it's a true story. Yes, what I'm saying about how we as Black employees will be passed up, and then somebody else comes in that's the folks, and you end up training them, and then they end up being promoted above you. Happens all the time. And I know there's a lot of the 45,000 employees in this class action lawsuit that can also attest to that. In America, it would who you know, not we know. Yeah, it's who you know. Exactly. And here too, it happens a lot here too. It absolutely does. And like I said, that's why I elected to leave the corporate plantation. I want nothing to do with it. Nothing. And that really, we as Black people need to really tap into our education, our talents, our skills, and just have the entrepreneur mentality and really build our own and bring our people with us. That's what we need to keep doing, and that's what we need to strive toward. We cannot keep going through this anymore. Like, we just can't. Frustrating. Anywho, family, thank you so much for giving me 31 minutes of your time. I really wanted to share this with you. And as I said, I'm going to keep following this story and keep you all updated. So thank you so much for tuning in. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Emma Ansah Unfiltered. I'll be going live tonight at 7 p.m. So come on over there and hang out with me live there. And once again, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app from your Google or Apple store. You will love the app. And speaking of building our own, that's what we're doing here, our own app, where we can do and say what we want and not have anybody telling us what to do, what to say, what to think, any of that. So head over, download that app. I promise you, you will thank me later. And when you do, let me know that you did. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you so much, Buckhorse, for supporting. Appreciate you so, so much. Until next time, I shall see you again tomorrow, same time, same channel, and another hot topic. Talk to you then. Take care, everyone.